One of the most unique characteristics of the Sonic franchise that sets it apart from almost every other gaming franchise is the diversity. Every Sonic game that you will play will be vastly different from the previous. There are very few Sonic games that are similar. So when it comes to forming your own Sonic opinions, it's most likely not going to be the same as somebody else's. Everybody has a different opinion on every Sonic game. So that's why I'm here today to express my opinions on every mainline Sonic game. I will be strategically ranking every Sonic game on this tier list. Now mind you, this is all my personal opinion. I do not care about objectivity in this video. I am going completely off of personal enjoyment from these games. Also, I will not be covering spin-offs. Maybe I will look into that for a future video. Anyways, with that all said, let's get right into the video. Starting off the D tier, we have Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Okay, I know that some of you may be thinking, this ain't no mainline Sonic game. Well, you see, that's the thing. If this game had succeeded, I can almost guarantee that this game would have been considered a mainline Sonic game. Sonic Boom was trying to be a whole new subsection of the Sonic franchise, and it failed miserably. But you know, I'm not too hurt over the game being a failure. And to understand why, you gotta understand my background with this series. You see, when I was young, I loved Sonic the Hedgehog. I bought everything with his face on it, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that at one point, I owned every Sonic game released on the Nintendo GameCube and Wii. It's safe to say I was a bit of a Sonic fan. Now put yourself in those shoes for a moment. You lived and breathed Sonic games. And then this gets shown to you. Yeah. This was the first time in my life where I genuinely felt my heart break. At the time that this game was announced, it felt as if this was the new Sonic game. It was like they just rebooted the entire franchise and this was the new canon. But can you really blame me? They should have written spin-off all over the advertising, but they didn't. This was the next Sonic game. So naturally, my first impression with this game was complete anger. I'm sorry, but I don't like how Sonic looks. I don't like how the characters look, and I don't like how the world looks. It's not my Sonic, and I'm not going to enjoy it. So for the first time, and only time ever, I left the Sonic franchise, and I didn't look back. I never did play Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, so maybe it's not fair to put it on this list, but at the same time, I have always hated this game ever since it's been announced. It's cool that the developers had a vision, and it sucks that they got screwed over, but nothing could ever make me like that game. It's just tough love. And no, I do not have any plans on playing this game because I have zero interest in it. Also, I can tell by the gameplay that it just sucks. I don't care if it's morally correct. Worst mainline Sonic game, complete disgrace. Next up on the D tier, we have Sonic Forces. Now hear me out, guys. I understand that to most, this game is just mediocre. And I know that it can seem biased and overdramatic for me to say that this is one of the worst in the series. But that's genuinely how I feel. And this opinion is still fresh. Like just recently, I replayed the game for the first time in a very long time, and it's still one of the most boring experiences I've ever had with a video game. And in my opinion, a boring game is the worst thing that your game can become. At least with broken games, you can still have entertainment. With Sonic Forces, it can't hold my attention at all, which is very unfortunate because I really do love a lot of the ideas that this game had. Whenever I play this game, I see all of the ambition and untapped potential that went to waste. I love the idea of a war setting. I love environments like Sunset Heights and Metropolitan Highway. I dig that. But this game messed up literally everything. Not only was the whole war setting butchered by the cowardly writing, but it's also just blatantly stupid. You took this cool looking character Infinite and gave him a beyond dumb backstory. This dude got called weak and that's why he's evil. Who wrote this? And what about other dumb stuff like Sonic being tortured for months despite being just fine? And I get it, it's a mistranslation. But that doesn't really help the fact that we have a mistranslation. This is Sonic the Hedgehog. You'd think that with that big of a name, that they would be able to translate this properly. I think the main takeaway from this story was how underwhelming it was. From the original CGI trailers, you see Sonic with a serious attitude in this broken down city with all the old villains back. You're expecting an ambitious and serious story with high stakes, but what you get is a shallow story that barely has any of that. Is it borderline false advertising? I'd say so, but you know, that doesn't matter. Who cares about the story? All that matters is the gameplay, right? Well, that sucks too. Modern Sonic's gameplay consists of running in a straight line with surface level inputs required. Like sometimes you might have to jump or switch to a different rail, alright guys? It's boring, but the worst thing about the game is how it goes against the philosophy of what the Sonic franchise was built on. Sonic is all about replayability. You're supposed to be replaying the levels over and over again so you can get a faster time and overall become a better player. But with Sonic Forces, after replaying the stage 2 times, you begin to realize that there is nothing in these stages. There is nothing that you can do to go faster without breaking the game. The level design is that shallow. So congrats to Sonic Forces for messing up something that literally every Sonic game, good or bad, has done correctly. Oh, but it's not so bad. Yes, it is. Don't even get me started on the avatar. Such an amazing idea for a gimmick. Customization in a Sonic game is genius. Dare I say it's the best idea they have ever had for a gimmick. But they messed that up too. Same boring gameplay. But you know, props to Sega, they wanted to change it up. Since the other 2 gameplay styles were just boring, they came up with the brilliant idea of making the 3rd gameplay style just plain bad. With Classic Sonic, you won't be bored, you will be in pain. Terrible physics and terrible level design. I genuinely hate Classic Sonic with every fiber. He had no reason to be in this game and his gameplay is so bad. If you couldn't tell, I hate this game. So I think it's fine putting this game in the D tier. Just don't play this game, it's terrible. But before we can continue, I gotta tell you about something that's going in S tier, and that is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. With Skillshare, you can learn new skills, or you can sharpen up the skills that you already have. I just recently switched to Premiere Pro for editing, and the class Advanced Video Editing with Adobe Premiere Pro 2020 by Jordy Van Put really helped get the ball rolling. It's not just video editing either, they also have animation, creative writing, film and video, fine art, graphic design, music, and more. Skillshare was made specifically for learning, meaning that there are no ads, and they're constantly launching new premium classes so you can stay focused on wherever the creativity takes you. Finally, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of premium membership, and if you ask me, that's a pretty good deal. Everybody go check out Skillshare, they are awesome, and honestly it's a great way of learning new skills. It's efficient and it's fast. Make sure to join Skillshare with the link down below. Starting off the C tier, we have probably my biggest hot take of this video, and that is Sonic Heroes. Yeah, this is serious, and no, this is not satire. I do not like Sonic Heroes, but it's not because of one sole reason, it's more of a death by 1,000 paper cuts. There's just so many tiny issues with the game that all add up. Starting off, you can tell that this game was made very fast. The collision is terrible, and the mechanics overall feel very unpolished. Like for example, when you're flying with Tails, if you run out of flight ability, you just drop like a rock. Why? I think it would make the most sense to be able to move Tails while you're going down so that you can save yourself. The game's like, alright, you had your time to go. And it's not just that, the homing attack feels like it doesn't lock on sometimes, and Sonic feels extremely slippery. I don't think this is what they meant by soap shoes, Sonic. Also, for some reason, they had the idea to make rail grinding completely insufferable. Every time I play this game, I'm incredibly anxious every time I grind on a rail, because I don't know if switching is going to cause me to fly off the map. Little things like that just get annoying, but there's bigger issues that add up as well. Such as you having to complete the game 4 different times with minor alterations to get to the final story. Now, I'm not against having more campaigns to play through, that's cool stuff, but they don't bring anything game-changing to the table. Like in the adventure games, you are getting a completely different experience out of Knuckles' story than when you play Sonic's story. The game is different, but in Heroes they just add a couple of new moves and either extend or shorten the level length. That's not game-changing, that's just alterations of the same thing I just played. There is the exception of Team Chaotix, but that campaign has its own issues. And it really just starts to get repetitive because the level design is just the same thing repeating over and over again. Once you spin up the 50th pole in the same level, it starts to weigh on you. Now, this game isn't all bad, there is some redeeming qualities like the soundtrack being top-notch or the story being decent, but I feel that the issues of this game outweigh the good. But that's just my opinion. I know that a lot of you are going to disagree, and that's okay. Enjoy the game, even if it is a mess. At the top of C tier, we have Sonic 06. A lot of you may think that this is being generous to the game, since this was the game to quote-unquote ruin the franchise. But you know, I have a bit of a guilty pleasure with the game. Yeah, it's terrible, and yes, it is a mess. I'm definitely not denying that. Much like Sonic Heroes, there is also a lot of unpolished mechanics in this game. Like how you're able to reach top speed in a matter of a second, or how you can literally fly if you have the purple gem. These things are issues with the game, but I'm not going to lie to you. I really did have some fun with this game. There are things I like about this game, like how the level design is pretty open while also being creative in some areas. It's a nice twist to the adventure gameplay, and I actually think it's pretty good. I even like shadow stages. I thought the combat wasn't half bad, and I loved how it gave me time to explore the stages. Same goes for Silver. It gives me a chance to appreciate my surroundings. Believe it or not, stage length really doesn't bother me. This will become a common trend. Not to mention how the soundtrack is actually a bop, and maybe this is a bit of a hot take, but I love these hub worlds. I love the music here, I love how open it is, I love the shops, it just makes me feel at home. I enjoy all of these things, and I don't mean to undermine the issues that all add up with this game, but how I feel is how I feel, and this game isn't that bad to me. Now, there are moments in this game where I do sigh out of pure annoyance, like how stupid the story is at moments, mainly having to do with Elise and how her character is almost as dumb as Infinite's. Get this right, she cannot cry because it will awaken a deadly monster. Let that sink in. Of all these years, she never stubbed her toe really hard, never got her heart broken, and never got to the end of Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1. She is a trooper, man, I swear. But I will say, Shadow's story and Mephiles as a character is pretty close to 10 out of 10 material. I love these aspects of the game, and I doubt I'll find many people arguing with that fact. The main reason why this game is in C tier and isn't a lot higher is because the minor annoyances does make me feel a lot of pain. I'm sorry, but dying to a pure broken flaw of the game is tiring, and I know it sounds like a stupid reason to put it so low, but it happens so often, I just can't stand it. And you know, Project 06 is so awesome that it's stupid to play 06 over that fan game. So, there you go. And I believe Project 06 is proof that Sonic 06, if finished, would have been awesome. Point made, moving on. Welcome to the B tier, where I actually start liking the Sonic games that I play. Starting it off with Sonic CD, this game is very conflicting. On one hand, you have a very polished Sonic game with tons of personality, everything from the opening cutscene to Metal Sonic stealing Amy Rose. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this game has a great atmosphere. But there is a reason why I put it below all of the rest of the classic Sonic games. And it's the sole fact that the level design is way too wacky. I mean, they literally named a stage Wacky Workbench. You can't get more wacky than that. When I'm playing a classic Sonic game, I expect the stages to have a lot of slopes and surfaces to manipulate the gravity. Sonic CD for some reason just slaps springs, enemies, and weird objects everywhere. It never really gives you a chance to utilize Sonic's moveset to his fullest capabilities. But that doesn't mean that I didn't have fun with the game. I did have fun, I just didn't know what was happening while I was having fun. Which is how I would describe Sonic CD. I don't exactly know what's going on, but I'm enjoying it. Maybe I would have had a lot more fun if I delved into exactly why people love the game, but I can't escape the feeling of confusion when playing this game. My first experience with the game was getting Sonic Gems collection, playing it for 5 minutes, then proceeding to play every single game in the collection over Sonic CD. I even played Vector Man over Sonic CD. So I'm sorry that I can't go super deep in on my experiences with the game. I just don't have any connection to it. But I'm sure it's great. The reviews are making me feel like a madman. Next up, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, the first game in the series. Unlike Sonic CD, I actually have a connection with this game. Because despite some of the flaws that this game has, there's still some levels that I really do enjoy. Such as Green Hill Zone and Starlight Zone. Except that's it. Yeah, these 2 stages are absolute bangers, but the rest of the game is just underwhelming. I always did the one thing that I'm sure most people did when they were young, and that was playing through Green Hill and then stopping halfway through Marble Zone. Why they chose to follow up Green Hill Zone, this amazing set of levels that were fast-paced and utilized Sonic's moveset with Marble Zone, is beyond me. And then you had Spring Yard Zone, which is a little bit better, but still not up to the standard of Green Hill. And then wanted to make matters worse by giving us Labyrinth Zone. The only good levels are Green Hill and Starlight. Those levels are absolute bangers, and are the only reason why I'd come back to this game. Still better than CD though. That's something I will fight for. Next up on the B tier, we got Sonic Lost World. Now I get it, a lot of people do not like this game, but I genuinely don't think it's that bad. I would even go far enough to say that this is a solid video game. I'm serious, this game really isn't that bad. It's not buggy, it's actually pretty polished, and the gameplay is pretty cool. The parkour system takes a lot of time to master, but once you master it, it becomes a very fun experience. And in my eyes, a game that gets better the more you master it is a pretty good game. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not all good. My main criticisms for the game have to do with the story and atmosphere. The story is full of great ideas that all got butchered, like Tails being roboticized. They just glossed over it, didn't give him any character development, no boss fight, nothing. They just took an amazing idea and completely butchered it. And then there's Sonic and Eggman's dynamic. It's not necessarily bad, it's just very safe. They only focused on the Sonic and Eggman dynamic being fun to watch instead of something with a bit more depth. And these scenes aren't bad. I think Roger Craig Smith and Mike Pollock have great chemistry. It's just the fact that we only have fun moments. It was clear that the writers wanted to write a fun story that family could enjoy instead of a good one, and that's very disappointing. But the biggest sin that this game has is most definitely them copying Mario. Sonic was created back in the 90s to be completely different from Mario. He was heroic, but he had a side of edge, and he was fast. Sonic was a rule breaker. He doesn't care about what you have to say. He's going to save the day his way, whether you like it or not. He's cocky, he's a bit of a jerk, he's confident. He's on a board going down the streets of San Francisco. These are the Sonic characteristics. Now, when you strip all of that away and give him Beach World, Desert World, and Snow World that are clearly inspired by something his character stands against, you're going to have some upset fans, and it's justified. Look, there's nothing wrong with Mario, he's awesome, it's just that Sonic is loved for very different reasons than Mario. I wouldn't force Sonic to be like Mario, just like how I wouldn't force Mario to be like Sonic. Both of these characters were built on different characteristics. It's disrespectful to their brands to make changes like that. So I can understand why people hate Lost World. It makes sense. Me personally, while I do hate the story and blatant Mario inspiration, I can look past it and say that this is a pretty solid game. And that's all I have to say about Sonic Lost World. Alright, the A tier. This is the part of the video where you will only find 8 out of 10 games or higher. All of these following games are great, and I recommend you try all of them out if you haven't. Starting with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You see, I don't think it's an unpopular opinion to say that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 improved on literally every aspect of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. All of the issues were improved, but the biggest improvement was the level design philosophy. Sonic 1 had a lot of levels that did not utilize his moveset. Ironically, it was a very slow-paced game for Sonic standards. However, with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the levels started to have a lot more slopes and terrain that supports Sonic's moveset. The game was now focused on speed, more focused than Sonic 1 could ever dream of. Sonic 2 understood Sonic perfectly, and it took advantage of the genius that is Sonic's gameplay. The only issues I have with this game are the sometimes overly punishing level design and the final zones. Once you get to Metropolis Zone, the game takes a sharp downhill decline in quality. It's full of annoying enemy placements, and the Sky Chase Zone is not fun. But besides that, the game is awesome. Sure, Super Sonic is very challenging to obtain with those terrible special stages, but the ending is better if you don't get Super Sonic, so it doesn't really bother me that much. Which, by the way, the ending is super cool. The game does a little bit of storytelling, and it was awesome. We all know that Sonic before this game is known to be a bit of a lone ranger. He saves the world alone and always has. But in this game, we get to see him be saved by someone who is truly worthy of being by his side. It's no wonder why Tails is a fan favorite. This guy showed us that sidekicks are just as important as the main character. Anyways, this is a great game. You don't need me to tell you that. Moving on. The next game is Sonic Generations. This is probably one of the most inoffensive Sonic games ever created. It's very hard to find someone who doesn't like this game, and that is for good reason. This game is pure fun. It has no annoying gimmick, no serious story for critics to poke fun at, good graphics, and amazing gameplay. You have the modern Sonic gameplay, which is all about boosting in these insanely replayable levels alongside classic Sonic, which is everything that this classic Sonic aspires to be. It's expressive, physics are smooth, and the level design is actually built well. Like I said, this game is very inoffensive. It doesn't give any reasons for critics to hate this game. And while this game is still legendary, it does lack some of the magic that the other Sonic games have. There's some Sonic stories that are bad, but I don't think that means we should get rid of them entirely. Because when they are good, they are really good. And this is a bit of a personal issue, but the game is just way too easy. You're handed S-ranks like it's candy, you don't even have to try. So you can play these stages in one go and the game will inform you right away that you've already mastered it. To top it all off, all of the atmosphere is owed to previous Sonic games, and I understand that this was the intention when making the game, but it is what it is. I don't feel as deep of a connection with this game's atmosphere or gameplay as I do with the other Sonic games. But that's a very minor issue of mine. Everything else in the game is great. Anybody who picks up this game is bound to have a great time because it's hard to go wrong with this game. Like I keep saying, the most inoffensive Sonic game. It's also a fun and easy Sonic game to 100%, and I kinda like it when games are a fun ride to 100%. Most games suck when 100%ing because they have you doing tedious quests like gathering collectibles. It's something that I feel isn't criticized enough in gaming today. But that's neither here nor there. All you need to know is that this game rocks. Sonic Colors is a great game that I hold a lot of love for. And I know that this is the overrated Sonic game, but I'm sorry. This game is just not overrated. Sonic Colors has stunning graphics. It's honestly just as good as Super Mario Galaxies. It's crazy how they got this game running so beautifully with all things considered. But something that I love about Sonic Colors is that it mixes the boosting gameplay with a nice bit of platforming. And a lot of people do not like this. Some will even go far enough to say that this game plays like a Mario game, which is blatantly false. If you have ever played a 2D or 3D Mario game, you would know how false this statement is, because even though Sonic Colors steps into platforming a lot more, it still holds the Sonic magic. He's still insanely fast, still replayable, and still Sonic. My favorite thing about Sonic Colors is the level design and how well it's tied to the ranking system. In order to get an S rank, you must master the level using the aliens within the level design. And you have to do all of this very fast. It makes collecting S ranks insanely addicting, and while there is some stupid things that increase score like switching lanes, it's still an awesome ranking system that has a ton of fun. Also, just saying, the soundtrack is an absolute goldmine. My only big criticism with the game would be the story. It's just really boring and bland. It's full of jokes that all fall flat on its face. It's kind of hard to get the feels in an ending like this when the whole game has been filled with baldy nose hair, but I feel that this critique has been beaten into the ground, so that is all I will say on that. Is this game overrated? Nah, not even close. Here we are, Sonic Adventure 2, one of the most beloved Sonic games ever made, and it's going to the top of the A tier. This game is legendary. It has amazing gameplay, great visuals, killer soundtrack, and an iconic story that will have you at the edge of your seat. Sure, the cutscenes haven't aged the best, but I kinda feel a bit of charm when I see old cutscenes like this. Especially the final cutscene, truly beautiful, one of the best and most iconic moments in gaming. Just seeing all of the characters reflect on the story that just took place. Eggman questions his role in the universe. Knuckles and Rouge thinking about the future. Sonic reflecting on Shadow after his death. It's all a great conclusion to a legendary story. But it wasn't just a conclusion to a legendary story, it was also a conclusion to the amazing gameplay. You have Sonic and Shadow, who have a more linear-based style to the adventure gameplay. Very fast-paced and utilizes Sonic's moveset very well. Then you have the Knuckles and Rouge stages, which all have these well-designed levels and unironically good soundtracks. Then you have Tails and Eggman, who are the mech stages, but with a lot more focus and linearity. If you couldn't tell, the biggest difference between Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 is what it focuses on. Sonic Adventure focuses more on the freedom, while Sonic Adventure 2 focuses on the high-speed linear action. Both interpretations of the adventure gameplay are awesome though. I personally prefer the Adventure 1 philosophy, but I would be crazy to say that Sonic Adventure 2 wasn't awesome. On top of everything, there is a funny little thing called the Chow Garden, which is one of the best side activities I've ever seen come from a video game. I love the Chow Garden, it's absolutely amazing and it encourages the #1 most important trait of Sonic games, and that is replayability. It's also just very based. All of my homies love the Chow Garden. Overall though, I think Sonic Adventure 2 is a great game and deserves the top of the A tier. Alright, here we are. The S tier of Sonic games. These games I consider to be 10 out of 10s. My go-to Sonic games. First one is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Wow. Where do I begin? Sonic 3 took everything that was good from Sonic 1, 2, and CD and made one of the best video games of all time. They perfected the classic Sonic formula with this game. Not only did it make a good use of Sonic's moveset, but also encourage exploration a lot more than Sonic 2. Also, they actually made a somewhat decent special stage. Blue Spheres still isn't perfect, but man, we have come a long way since Sonic 2. But one thing that really helps cement this game in many fans' hearts is the storytelling. The storytelling was show don't tell, and it's brilliant. Watching this jerk Knuckles ruin our attempts at stopping Dr. Robotnik is very frustrating, but once you get to the end of the game, you begin to learn Knuckles' motivations and why he taunts you. He just wants to protect the Master Emerald because that is all he knows to do. So now you want to help him, and it builds this connection between you as the player with the game. It makes the experience so much more special, and it doesn't end there. Every aspect of this game has something crazy going on. Angel Island, first act is a nice forest to navigate through. Second act, it's on fire. This is reoccurring throughout the entire game. Everything around you is constantly changing. The game never stays in one spot for too long. I could go on about so much that I love about this game all day. The soundtrack is awesome, the visuals are amazing, presentation is great, and it goes without saying, but Hypersonic is so cool, I don't care what anyone says. Unfortunately though, this game has been inaccessible for a very long time. A possible reason for this might be the involvement of Michael Jackson with the game's soundtrack. That is a theory. The only way we have been able to play this game for the longest time has been through the Mega Collection or Sonic 3 Air on PC. But that reality is no more, because we are finally getting a widescreen port of the game with the Sonic Origins Collection, which I don't know if a trailer is out at the time of this recording, because the Game Awards is tomorrow. Yeah, so they only gave us Frontiers, so that previous statement aged horribly. Alright, this might be another controversial take, but Sonic Mania is the next game in the S tier. A lot of you probably consider Sonic 3 to be better than Sonic Mania, and I used to be in the same boat. I used to think that Sonic 3 was the best 2D Sonic game because of the love and affection that I have tied to that game. But then I actually sat down and asked myself, what makes Sonic 3 better than Sonic Mania? And that's when I realized that the only thing Sonic 3 does better than Mania is the story. And story is important, but gameplay comes first. And boy, does Sonic Mania have good gameplay. Not only is the game visually stunning, but it also has 5 playable characters and an encore mode. I hate to admit it, but Sonic Mania has a lot more content than Sonic 3, and I have found myself playing Sonic Mania a lot more than Sonic 3. So I kinda have to give it straight up and say that this is the better game. I mean, just look at it! The soundtrack, the level design, everything about this game is dang near perfect. It's well paced, and I never feel bored when playing this game. Much like Sonic 3, everything is constantly changing once again. They never stay in one place for too long. And there's so many special moments like fighting Metal Sonic, or man, that final boss. That was epic. Sonic Mania is definitely a Sonic game that I replayed a ton of times, and I don't see myself ever stopping. I love this game, and maybe this contributes to my love for the game, but I consider it a grand finale to the classic Sonic games. Something to recap all of the classics while capturing the feel and mechanics that made those games so special. I'm fine if they never make a follow-up to this game, because this is ending the classic Sonic games on the highest note that they ever could. This game is a masterpiece, and in my opinion is the best 2D platformer of all time. Big props to the developers and Sega for letting these guys make this game. Absolutely amazing. Here we are, Sonic Adventure. I suppose this is when the hot takes really start going down. I know that this game isn't perfect. I know it's aged in its cutscenes. But I love this game so much. This is the first game I've ever played. It was awesome back then, and it's still awesome now. I don't even know where to begin. I just can't stop smiling when talking about this game. It's just so good. I mean, starting off with the gameplay, it's so well crafted. Everything from the literal perfect level design of Sonic's story and the amazing and swift gameplay of Knuckles' Emerald Hunt stages. Flying with Tails, exploring the levels with Amy, racking up points with Gamma. Big was the only exception, but I don't really care about that. His campaign was only 30 minutes and the rest of the game was just so much better. I don't care what the critics have to say, this game is ballin' hard. If I was to make a current day Sonic game, I would design the levels and gameplay behind these Sonic stages in this game. It's just so perfect. The level design is linear, but also open enough to let Sonic explore and find many different pathways. And boy, is there a lot of pathways. You can attach yourself to any slope in the game and just spin dash to skip that part of the level. And you can tell it's intentional in a lot of areas because there's places like Speed Highway where you get rewarded for manipulating the level design. But that's not everything. This game is shining with personality with every detail put into this game. The hub worlds are these beautiful worlds for you to explore with amazing soundtracks. Just listen to the Mystic Ruins for a moment and tell me that it just doesn't take you back to the good old days. The personality also goes into the characters. You have 6 campaigns, and while they all struggle to tie back to the main plot, that doesn't matter to me because you still get to watch each of these characters grow in their own individual stories. You get to watch Tails fight for his self-esteem, Knuckles question his purpose and why he guards Master Emerald, Amy stand up to her fears and even to someone who she cares about, such as Sonic. You see Gamma go on a quest to free all of the animals that Dr. Robotnik has captured. There's even a level of charm in watching Big the Cat find his one true friend and go back to normal life. You can fight me. That story is fire. This game showcases everything that made me fall in love with Sonic as a brand. This is Sonic. This is who I admire. And honestly, this is the only game that makes me question if the next game is really my favorite. It's that dang good. I know the game has flaws, and I know that some struggle to pick it up because of those flaws, but much like many other games at the time, I can look past those flaws and say that this is a legendary video game that will forever leave an impact on me as a player. It's no secret, it's even in my profile picture. I love this game. Sonic Unleashed, man! I don't care what you throw in my face, your million reviews saying this game is mediocre, your metal collecting jokes, your Werehog jokes, this game is fire! Oh man, ever since the first cutscene of this game, I was hooked until the end. Everything about this game makes me happy. I mean, the gameplay, it's just so outstanding. You never feel this powerful as Sonic ever again in the series. He's just blasting through everything, destroying everything in his path while looking like a straight champion while he does it. The Werehog, sure the levels are long, but I don't even notice it because I love these levels. It gives me a chance to explore my surroundings and really take in the world that I'm playing in. And man, is the world so appealing. I love the environments, I love the humans, I love how immersive this game feels. You see, outside of Sonic, I like to play a lot of open world games because I love losing myself into these worlds. I become so invested in the game that I'm playing that I almost forget that I'm playing it. You know that feeling that you get when you beat a 60-hour open world game where you're just looking at the credits, reflecting on the journey that took place, and you ask the question, what do I do now? For the whole rest of the day, it's like you're living in limbo because this immersive and amazing journey has just ended. You don't know what to do. That was the feeling I got when the credits rolled in Sonic Unleashed. It really did feel like a Skyrim and Sonic hybrid game. It just got me that invested in this. My two favorite genres are open world and platformers, and Sonic Unleashed is the closest game to that perfect reality of a video game. And trust me, I know what you guys are thinking when I say that. I just don't want to get my hopes up. Sonic Unleashed is the closest thing to a perfect Sonic experience in my opinion. And call me biased, but this game definitely did not deserve the overwhelming amount of hate that it received. It definitely deserves at least a 7. Because this game has accomplished so many great things that go overlooked. The soundtrack is the best in the series. Fight me. The story, oof, this one's going to sting, is the best in the series. It has a nice mix of humor, which is very charming, with serious moments. Unlike future games in the series, when humor is used in this game, I find it very charming, not cringy and bad. There's just so much personality coming from this game. I get Disney, Pixar, Sonic, and Star Wars vibes all from the same game, and it's so cool. They got the atmosphere of this game down good, and I wish it would return for future games. I love this game, and man, I think I'm seriously about to buy a Series S to play the game at 60 frames per second without crashes. Like, come on, Sega. Can't you just port the game to Steam so I don't have to buy a whole console just to play one game? Anyways, guys, that was my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did because this video was a ton of fun. Leave your thoughts on your favorite Sonic games down below, or just tell me how wrong I am. Either is fine. I want to see what you guys have to say. Anyways, with that being said, I will see you all in a future video. I love you guys. It's a good day. Adios. My channel members are Speedsters United, JadenXV, Rocco MK, Wizbon 60fps, Dusty Basket 786, Speeder Light, Snicks, Saint, Sonic Cub, Thomas Winride, Chip Chap Chop, Scape, Virtuous Azon, Sonic Pip, Azure Sonic, Crash G00D, The Squeaker Nerd, Super Shags Boom, Sonic Extreme, and Super Saiyan Sonic. Thank you all for supporting the channel. You all went out your way to support me, and I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Adios.